being the leader of the free world. It's not all handshakes and signing bills, it's a 24/7 gig. Imagine a to-do list that never ends. Meetings, calls, speeches, crisis situations. The president is always on. Past presidents have dealt with this in different ways. Some, like Bill Clinton, were known for their late-night work habits. Others, like Ronald Reagan, seem to need less sleep overall. But no matter who's in the Oval Office, one thing's for sure, the job takes a toll, and finding time for sleep, that's often easier said than done. So, what's all this about President Biden and a bedtime? It's been making headlines lately and people are curious. Well, word on the street is that the president is trying to prioritize his sleep. In a world where leaders are often burning the midnight oil, this is quite a shift. No more late-night rallies or emergency summits after 8 p.m. He's setting boundaries to ensure he gets enough rest. Now, this isn't exactly an official policy. There's no formal announcement or decree. There's no White House memo saying don't call Joe after dinner, but the message is clear. Evenings are for winding down. But sources say that Biden is trying to stick to a more regular sleep schedule. Consistency is key for maintaining good health, especially at his age. And honestly, who can blame him? The stress of the presidency is immense. The man's got a lot on his plate: the economy, the environment, international relations. Each issue demands his full attention. It's enough to keep anyone up at night, but by prioritizing sleep, he's aiming to be at his best for the challenges ahead. Of course, this whole bedtime thing has sparked some debate. Some folks are worried that it makes Biden look weak. What if there's a crisis, they ask? Will he be too busy snoozing to handle it? It's a valid concern. The world doesn't stop spinning just because the president needs his 8 hours. But here's the thing. Studies have shown that sleep deprivation can impair judgment and decision-making. In other words, a well-rested president is probably a better decision-maker than a sleep-deprived one. So maybe this whole bedtime thing isn't such a bad idea after all. Section 4. Tossing and turning over Biden's bedtime. Now, not everyone's on board with Biden's new approach. Some critics are calling it unpresidential or even lazy. They argue that the president should be available 24/7, no matter what. Others are pointing out the irony. After all, this is the same Joe Biden who once joked about being a night owl. So, what's changed? Has he finally realized that pulling all-nighters isn't sustainable in the long run? Whatever the reason, Biden's attempt to prioritize sleep has definitely got people talking. Section 5. The sleep-deprived versus the well-rested president. It's a topic that has sparked much discussion and debate. This whole debate about Biden's bedtime raises a bigger question. How important is sleep for those in power? What's the cost of sleep deprivation for our leaders? How does it affect their ability to govern effectively? We've all seen those pictures of presidents looking exhausted after a long day. The late-night meetings, the early morning briefings, the bags under the eyes, the slumped posture. It's clear that the job takes a toll on their physical appearance. But beyond the visible signs, it's the mental and emotional toll that might be even more concerning. What we don't see is the impact that sleep deprivation might be having on their decision-making abilities. A tired president might be more likely to make a mistake, overlook critical details, or misjudge a situation. They might be more irritable, less able to focus, and more prone to emotional outbursts. In a job where every decision has far-reaching consequences, the stakes are incredibly high. Sleep deprivation could have serious ramifications, not just for the leader, but for the entire nation and even the world. Section 6. In conclusion, can Biden catch some Z's and still lead? This question has been on the minds of many, especially in the fast-paced world of politics where every second counts. So what's the verdict on Biden's bedtime? Is it a sign of weakness or a strategic move to ensure he's at his best? It's probably too early to say for sure. The political landscape is ever-changing, and what works today might not work tomorrow. Maybe he'll stick to it and become a model of well-rested leadership. Imagine a world where our leaders are not only sharp and decisive, but also well-rested and healthy. Or maybe he'll cave to the pressure and go back to burning the midnight oil. The demands of the job are immense, and the pressure to perform is relentless. Only time will tell how this experiment in presidential sleep will pan out. But one thing's for certain, this debate has sparked a broader conversation. This whole debate has shone a light on the importance of sleep, even for the most powerful person in the world. It's a reminder that no one is immune to the basic needs of the human body. And maybe, just maybe, it'll inspire the rest of us to prioritize our own sleep a little more. After all, if the leader of the free world can find time to rest, so can we. After all, if the president can make time for 7 to 8 hours of shut-eye, maybe we can too. It's a small change that could have a big impact on our overall well-being. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go take my own advice. Good night, everybody. Sleep well and wake up ready to lead your own life with the same vigor and clarity.